And I'm posting this platform with all the bells and whistles. So I've got the cloud in there I just threw together. Actually, this isn't the platform, but I'm going to go to that one. It's the OANDA. This is the CoinEx that's running at 5,000. I made a spectacular move when the last video closed out. We bought this. Right now the spread is actually 7.8 pips right now in the euro. You can see here. And here actually pretty tight on this little scramble here north on the at the end of the day. We have 5 minutes of no trading in this broker, so that's the other situation. So wait, no, this is the OANDA account. So this has the fancy cloud that I threw together. I'm posting that it's bug free. We have the bars on top of the cloud, closing on top of the bars. It works on everything. I can't say the spread is very good on this currency pair, sitting at 7 pips or something, which looks like pretty brutal. I think this could be the Turkish lira against the yen. All right, so the only kind of criteria for making money here is going to be keeping your targets in line with the market's behavior. So if you were to get into these obvious signals here on the cloud, it's going to look like this. I can tell you how to trade this moving average system. Very simple. Nothing like a moving average. I like the moving average like this because it is more of a histogram. The bars. So here's your structural Turkish lira. All markets are the same. You have your double top becomes a bottom. Okay, pull the trigger and go along because you're in the green cloud. Right, top becomes a bottom. Pull the trigger. Top becomes a bottom. Pull the trigger. Hopefully you've got some target like this. But based on that spread, it looks like you're never going to make any fucking money. So this is another big fallacy is people build algos, and I see the people still on the Discord, that no-nonsense Discord on Ronald Hubbard's thing, talking about, oh, well, you know, you just got, and they're talking about, oh, I'm getting stopped out of my New Zealand versus yen. You think? And I can kind of guess the direction they're trading based on, well, just based on any so-called baseline. Okay, people are going to be short on this. How many pips? Imagine there's no spread on this Turkish lira, right? But it's same story, right? Trap down here, come back on, stop out this wick. So I'm leaving the wicks in there to see what's really going on. And what is the cause for the effect? Why does the market run down so hard? Because it's falling in this hole. Sure, you could be on the short train and tell me all day long how, oh, you know, I sold here, I only sell rallies in blue, and I'm killing it, and I got a big win. But at some point, this would occur to you, why are you winning so much so fast? And maybe the ride's over by here, and it's getting kind of a little long in the tooth here. And this is a perfect rally at the end of 4 hours into the cloud for the last sell. Kind of a bottom become a top here on the way down. Here is a double bottom become a top. So it's very subtle. Slight rally on the 4 hour. You've got confirmation. The 4 period moving average is going down. The 1, 2, and 3 are moving down. The faster moving average is it could be a different color. This is just, I just threw this together. It's like it's a bottomless pit of how you want that to look or how many moving averages you want on that. You know, time frame. Somebody was talking about the time frame. Okay, well, you know, also what matters is the depth of the vacuum in time. So this low is very important. Like this low is very important, and so is this one. That's why you see buyers here, this low to this low. So there's a little cavern here. There's a deeper liquidity here, a deeper interest in this price here for this move to here, and then we're gonna trap this guy. So it's very like, wow, we're trapping this guy. Now this is the ultimate entrance in a cloud, as far as I'm concerned, is buying. If you can buy the stop hunt, the trailing stops that people are running, if you can buy that, you can on this. You cannot do that on this currency pair. So it's very kind of tricking people that like to think they could backtest this when, if this is your spread, which it is right now, it could get tighter. We got 5 minutes. Okay, so the spread should tighten up right now. We should see actually the equity go up. Not on this account, but this account was able to make $41, just not really paying attention. So let's take a look at the history on this. Frame this, not recording the. I'm just missing the very top of the. Okay, here's my history. So this was a true stop out, and how can I tell? Because if you see in your history that this has a color to it, then what that means is your stop was hit. That's how you got out of that trade. So I lost $10 on that, and this was buying the plunge in the pound. That was a pretty big ticket, and I didn't really spend too much work just placing that limit order beneath me. This, on the other hand, had the full tilt $40 win. That was a 4K, so that made the $40 risking 10. I know the risk is 10 in all these. The euro, the same thing. We pulled back just to tag the 5K, the 7K, and those were taken off the table before I went to sleep. So at the end of the video, about half hour after that, I'm like, I'm just taking these guys off. And those would have been maybe winners. I don't know. I don't know that stop. This was the stops, but see, I had different stops. Another diversification. Why would I get into 2 tickets? Why don't you just buy a 12K? Because this is the idea of my whole system, right? So you can see here in this account, you can have this for free. I built this for Streamline. It's something I could give somebody this to. Financing, apparently this is either, although they claim they don't charge commissions, this might be the spread I'm paying. I'm not sure. I don't know what this is. Oh, this could be the swap. This is maybe this, I don't know. Yeah, because I did maybe hold that through. I don't know. Dude, if you're worried about 14 cents after making a whole $41, then don't trade. This must be the withdrawal. Okay, this is the total finance. They're bleeding me. Them damn brokers. Dude, you're not walking around with a briefcase full of money, so count your blessings. These are all the pendings. Here's my sells. I am going to be selling on this one. I have like about, I think 10 buys, 10 sells, maybe more. I put delete all objects in here. Here's your trades. You can close all open and pendings. I made it hard to get to, so you're going to have to open that up. We can close all profits, or if you want to do it by symbol, this will close by symbol. I just put Z's in front of it, so it'll come out at the bottom there. Stay away from clicking that. If you're afraid, just build another folder or move this to trades and make it harder to get to. You want to make it kind of hard to, if you're on a tablet, because if you accidentally hit this or double click that, you kind of have to double click it, but you don't want to get out of something that you're writing, that you've added to. So here, let me tile this out the way I would do 8 pairs. This is about the max for the platform for me is about 8 pairs. I'm never going to trade the Turkish lira, what I think it is, so I'm just going to delete that chart. But if you tile windows here, there's your classic. You could also run the cloud here and say, oh, it's rallying here. I think I'll sell some pound into that. And I'm actually going to put, I have sell limits up here. This is the weekly pound. Here's a perfect example of the 4-period moving averages down. All moving averages are down on this cloud here. You have a top become a bottom. Probably the trade of the century. Well, just structurally speaking, the cloud is not necessary. I'm just putting it in, people like to see it. Although it's there to teach a trend trader a lesson that this trend is not your friend. Okay, because this one is the one that's just brutal. And right now you're still technically in a sell. Yeah, the guy that was posting yeah, you could be selling. This is a structure issue, but really, what about how long do you want to be in a trade? So if that's the monthly chart, which looks like an amazing sell, and you probably want to be doing your new sell, and hopefully you covered in this giant pit of no man's land. Once we went below here, buyers came in like crazy. Don't forget, this is 1 year from here to here. The end of the year, we turn on a dime. The end of the year, we kind of turn on a dime. This is the middle of the year. So there's that cycle. End of the year bounce here, but I think it's more about this being tagged. This being breached is the cause for that move. Then we never quite make it. We kind of make it back to that bottom. So here's where this system conflicts with the cloud traders, because the cloud traders are just saying, well, I just need something I can look at and go, hey, you know what? I should do this trade. This is the whole idea of this. Become a slave to your algo. We can also put on the good old-fashioned, I just have it called close. So I do have templates in here. I got 4 templates now. And I have some garbage that came with it, popular. It's not worth deleting. Here's just the good old closing one, which I prefer. This is the naked chart, which makes you think more, and it's really what it keys in your brain. You think more structures like this bottom become a top, where if you get sucked into following your algo, your trend system, sure, this is a nice, cute little trend, but if you're a bear and you have sell limits on top of here and you're saying, well, I'm selling into an uptrend, should I? I'm selling into this hole, should I? Okay, anything that starts to make you doubt your algo, like this person's saying in the Discord, that's the thing. So there's the buy side, the sell side. Once again, if you place this order above, it's a buy stop, below it's a buy limit. Very simple system. So in essence, these are, with a 13 pip stop to make 100 pips, this is still a it does 2 trade plans in essence, because it'll be a limit or a stop. Let's see if I can get to this other thing. It's too fun watching the politics, man. Watching people. This guy, Adam Schiff, is he okay? Like, look at this guy. I mean, what the fuck happened to him? No nonsense. His brother is a politician. I think that's how you can track some guy was trying. Supposedly, this no nonsense is out of Canada. Makes sense. Probably had his mom drank too much Moosehead or something. See if I can get to the somebody's asked a question about this limit situation. So we're waiting for the world to change. John Mayer. Waiting for. Don't really have any trades on in this. If I was going to put a trade on in this platform, I'm about to just take my money out and go home. Let me delete the objects, and then we'll just go to the big picture, because I'm going to put in daily tickets here. And I'm going to put my favorite algo, which is just the good old-fashioned bars. You know, the cloud is also a momentum system in essence. Here I'm just looking for deals. So we had this amazing trade this morning just from the dippity-doo situation that we got. And when I closed off the last video, we were right here, and I had stacked in just an insane amount of tickets right here. So the guy's asking about, time frames. This low to me is the cause. Looks like some of those just deleted. Those are the ones I dropped when the market opened. So when the market opened, it's been exactly 24 hours. If you just saw those orders disappear. That was 14 minutes into the open. I dropped those limits. So those are gone. So this is the daily, it's like a 1 day at a time alcoholic trading system. This low here to this low, you cannot see that on the 4-hour chart. So when you switch time frames, you kind of miss the nuance. See, this is the stop hunt. This is a 25 pip grid, right? This market's moving at almost 8 times the rate of the scripts you would run on the same currency. Like if you put it on a different currency, right? So if you put on the euro dollar, well, it's like 8 times difference, literally. This is 50 pips, people. That's 50 pip move, okay? And you're just talking about, can you trade that? trade. You just made on a standard lot. You just made $250. Here's another subtle stop hunt just before we take off. Unavailable on the 4-hour chart. So, but you're not going to necessarily sell this double top. You could also be selling this whole giant hole, which you would have recovered this much in the pullback. I saw the guys in the Discord saying that what they sold here, or maybe they're short the pound. But yeah, this is why No Nonsense has these followers, because people that are doing this, and I'm giving away my algo that it's so, you can tweak this any way you want. On the hourly, sell into the cloud, sell. There's a guy making money at this cloud. I'm telling you, he sent me an email years ago. He sent me his equity. Sell, sell. But you got to know when you got to get out, because guess what? They're coming up here after they come down here and do the auction trade. Sure, the cloud gets it right here. You buy this pullback, this one, this one, this one. You just built a 4K in. But if you're running pussy stops, they're going to stop you out. You got to run the big boy stops, the big bank stops. They don't use stops. Okay. Maybe I should get to this. Oh no, here's a guy who's trying to sell me. I don't know how I got this Cam Hawkins guy. You know, they're appealing to people with these taglines. It's like mental clickbait or phrase bait, I call it. How many times have you reached for the towel? Well, I wish it was more often, but I can't get any girls to come over. Ready to throw it in? Well, I guess in your virtual trading ring. That's in quotes. Ready to give up on the dream of making a living from the markets? Okay, this is like saying giving up the dream of being a brain surgeon. They're both very difficult jobs. You cannot just sit back and ride these trends, right? Like if you get in here and you don't get out there and you move your I mean, yeah, on this one it's ripping. Let's face it. From this, and I love how I can only imagine that the 14 period ATR goobers over at No Nonsense are like, this thing probably put a spike in their ATR, and they're like, oh, we got to add, oh, not going to be able to trade. Or, you know, they're getting in. They're getting in here. They bought, don't forget, No Nonsense. This is the 1 hour chart. A confirmation they bought here. So maybe they got stopped out. It only pulled back 100 pips. Jesus Christ, you've got to adjust to weather conditions. When it's a hurricane, you better have the 150 mile an hour house you're living in. Here we kind of made a couple bucks on the same sweep of the leg here this morning. This is the 4 hour chart. I had an order bank in. These really tight scalpers. When we picked that up and cashed out, I went flat on that one. So that's over with. This was spectacular here. I actually got out too early on this. So I was using the buy down here. And I was out of that trade by the time we come up into here. I did not sell into that. I rebought here, and I used the script that's not really written for, I don't really have a British pound script. If you do have one, it's not on this account that I was doing that. But here you could do it. See, here I could just go, oh, well, fucking A, obviously. I'm going to sell up here. I'm going to take this script and drag and drop it here. Let me just do that. I wish this would just kind of stay in drawing mode for a little bit, but we're stuck with it. So let me look at the tall order. Okay, what's the tall order here? And once again, green cloud. Daily goobers should be long and buying on pullbacks only. I'm just trying to save the no-nonsense people. I'm giving away my free algo. I should call this free algo. People love, you put the word free in the title of your YouTube, and it's nuts. Free algo. I'll list it, free cloud algo. My own custom brew. You buy, you sell rallies in blue. You buy sell-offs in whatever color that is, sea green, green. Um, and I got the bar on top, so that's the whole thing. That should help somebody. Here's a 13 pip stop to make 100 pips. I'm putting that order up here all day long, so I'm going to put all these tickets in here and walk away. Let's just see what happens. I'm not really paying attention. I just not want to get the same entry price. I'm pretty sure I will not have the same exit price, and some of these are outlandish. Let me go for the scalpers. Okay, so these are going to be... I'm saying a scalp is like, 13 pip stop to make 50. That's not quite a scalp. I don't have any scalps. I have some bad ratios. Let me do that. That's kind of a scalp. Here's 50 pips to make 50 pips. You know, $10 to make $10, okay? So to avoid duplication, I would fix the scale at this point so I don't, and I can also get those balls to turn into dashes. I might have to, okay, as long as you don't have, you have to make sure that you're not charting on the foreground. Because if you do that, you will not see that line. The bars will try to go on top. So fix the scale. Then if you switch to candlesticks, you'll just see that. If you switch to line or bar, you will see the balls. So this is line chart, bar chart, candlesticks. So candlesticks makes those turn to that, so it's more precision. I'm just going to go with a 34 pip stop to make 50. And if you're going to watch this on your tablet, you can leave all this up here. So there's almost a duplicate stop, a duplicate take profit. That's not really the best thing in the world. Here's a pretty tight stop. I'm just trying to get the entry. Same thing here. If I turn this to candlesticks, now here is the problem. Okay, so that's why I got to fix that. You got to fix that if you want it. That's it. If you want those not to be balls, you have to fix it yourself. I'm not going to edit that one, but you have to go to properties and chart and foreground. I don't care. It's easy for me to fix that. You just have to go like this. Okay, I'm just going to fix that. I don't care if they're balls. I'm typically deleting them and just looking at the lines, and you can change the entry. So here's how you make the stop and the entry prices change. Color is right here is the this is your take profit, or no, this is your entry price. This is your stop and your take profit, so black. So you can make this color whatever you want. So there's a little bit lighter color. That's my entrance price. Well, let's get back to this clickbait. They're triggering me with these words. We can always put those. This pace of trading I'm doing on this OANDA account is so creeper gear. This is something even the Forex Hangout guy can handle. This is like low frequency trading, I'm going to say. From Canada. Where's this guy's Canadian accent? If he's from Canada. Okay, get ready to give up. Get ready to give up the dream of making a living from the markets. I had a moment like that last week after an emotionally charged day, and I beat my wife. I'm just kidding. But he did say an emotionally charged day. Hey, he could have beat his wife. How do we know what these Forex traders are doing? Then I remembered the quote from Kung Fu Panda movie. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift, which is why we call it the present. Oh, that's retarded. What a dumb Kung Fu Panda puns. For the love of Pete, people. So I left the towel on the bench. Realized it was And then he had what? Locker room sex? So I left the towel on the bench, realized it was not my trading plan that was broken, but the driver was crazy that day. Okay, so here's the deal. What I just showed you in this platform is why we never have an emotional day. We set it and forget it on the OANDA Daily account. I mean, yeah, you could sit there with your finger on the trigger at 1.5 standard lots and beat your wife while you scalp. You could do that. Okay, that's lifestyle. That's lifestyle forex mentorship. Put on a wife beater before you start that, would you? I want to see on Forensic Files. Well, looks like he was. You ever watch Forensic Files when they go? Did you ever see the one the guy was like he wasn't really making money in the stock market. He had all these computer screens. It's just I should put the link to the on the fucking. It's amazing. He's guys making so much. He's just doing like Ponzi scheme. He literally is losing his ass in the markets. But he tells his wife, "Look at all these computer monitors. Of course I'm trading." He didn't beat his wife. So here's a similar story of one trader never threw in his towel and eventually found success. Oh, this isn't tradingnut.com. P.S. This is always where we get at the clincher here. P.S. I did a webinar last week. If you want to catch the replay, you can watch it here. I should probably watch it. People ask me, what do you think of this guy? You know, it's really what do you think that you can handle? I've read all the books, and I always thought, when I was reading the book, I thought, when are we going to get to the money-making part? When are we going to get to that trade that I can take, that I have confidence in? Like this person says in the Discord, do you trust your algo? And all the comments they make in there, I just keep thinking, this is the answer, people. You have all these baby $10 risk trades, and you put in 10 trades, you're risking $100. What's the big problem? I don't know if they're all going to fill either. Look at this euro versus the pound. I got no fill. How about the euro? How about the Canadian dollar retracement? Look at that. If you held over the weekend, if you bought Sunday night, you're up on that trade. You're just up on that trade. It's amazing. Look at these tickets I put here. No fill. Wah, wah, wah. All that effort for nothing. Fuck, I had to come over here. Be careful you don't accidentally put this down here. I would never sell down there. Never, ever. Wouldn't make. I'll stop. Well, you know, if it's going down, it's gonna. Yeah, you might be right on that ticket, actually. But the chances are, I'd rather accumulate down here with the big bankers. The dirty bankers are getting in down here. So I'm just gonna refresh these. And these other ones should be deleting very soon because I laid them in about 12 hours ago. So here I can just do a goofball array, or I can just pick keep dropping the same one. Some of these, like 13 pips stop to make 50 pips. I mean, that's amazing, right? It could happen. So I'm kind of saying my target's up here, you know. Before I drop it, I could think about it. It is $10, you know. But sometimes, like last night, I took these two winners off the table because I said to myself, why bother, right? Just take them off the table there. Let's see, account history. So these are all the pendings. And we can also see here that the ones that just deleted themselves. I can't remember how the notation is for deletion. Or we do the, when was the order placed? Okay. These are the ones that deleted, I suppose. Oh, no, here's the time. Sorry, the order number. Okay, so how do I know? We did the count transfer. And I think that I'd have to say. Okay, so that's the first in. But these deleted themselves. And I can't remember, there was a way to tell if it, okay, well here's the expiration time, so, right. Oh, those are I just dropped, so these won't expire till tomorrow. I should look at this more often, I guess. Okay, here's the expiration dates coming up. So it's a lot to keep, but this isn't a shabby ticket, 6K. That adds up pretty quick. Two of those is 12K. So this strategy of just kind of going after, now I could put these in all week on this euro. Here it looks more likely to fill because, the trend traders are selling that little rally right now. The weekly looks like, still looks good on the weekly. Monthly looks like, wow, that could fill. 4 hour, like, So you can see the orders I placed there on Sunday's open, and we could do the same thing here. Just don't duplicate the entry price. So I'm just going to put a bunch down here. We said it, forgot that. Here's the sell limits I'm putting in. Here's the other template is just bars. This is pretty disturbing. Actually, these are all 25 pip grids on all these. But see, here's how the breakout world looks like on the 4-hour chart. You can zoom in one level to get perspective here, I think. So imagine you had a robot. This is what the robot would see, or it could be you. You see a bar that's small, put a buy stop, sell stop, and look at that. And then they break this guy out, they trap this, they rip it back at some point. You could be gobbling up the stops, or you're waiting for these two small bars, buy stop, sell stop, trap there, buy stop, you make up what you lost, buy stop, so little bar entries, look, there's a nice breakout here coming in, but, this is a little deceiving because the spreads are brutal here. Sunday night again there. Nice sell here, non-directional trade, nice clean entry, sell stop, a little trap there, but this is the smaller of the two bars, so you need a robot to identify this small bar and get in heavier there. Even here, it's not too late to join. By default, you're long, but then the party's over as soon as you get into this territory. A little trap to the south side there. If you're just trading buy stop entry from the long side, okay, you're filled long there, but the trick is to have the limits also. So you can do these symmetrical hedges. That's just one strategy. You just can't live off that because you're going to get whipsawed. Here, you get sucked into this, and then unless you take your 25 pips on both legs of that in some regard, you're going to lose some of that ticket depending on how big you're in. But there's no way. There is a way, but I wouldn't do it. Put a buy stop here and a sell stop there and be a turtle traders. Turtle traders, I don't think ever took into account volatility. So according to a turtle trader, if you're bullish, you put a buy stop here and your protection's here and you're going to claim you made X, but you better make X because you risk that much for the whipsaw or the stop hump. Simply that. And if you're long now, you're looking for it to take that out. And if you're a bear and you're short, which these guys are on the pound, or some guy was. So there's people in the no-nonsense going against no-nonsense. They're just like, oh, dude, it looks like a sell. But I would be very careful of selling the pound at this point because I think we're coming up into these sell limits I put in there. Okay, so I'm going to publish this thing. And good luck with that. Oh, I did want to do the euro versus the yen here. So this is a nice juicy pair for a lot of pips, but lately not so much. It's not ripping. It is ripping more than the euro, but it's not exactly on fire as far as pips here. This 4-hour chart and on a daily. Okay, your daily algo. The only sell for a trend trader, so to speak, is there. Here's a buy, small pullback in the cloud. Here's sell, 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 sell. 1, 2, there's 6 sells. There's a sell. Really no buy here. Here's where we get whipsawed. Here's kind of a buy into the cloud just for that little move. Once again, why does it reverse there? Because of that. Buyers come in here for the scalp, pull it back up into into this. And well, look at this. Kind of no cloud there, but really it's about, for what I'm seeing is this is the cause for the effect. And once again, I would get the hell out of that. So if you have trailing buy limits for the stop hunt, we could put that in, right? Spread's kind of lousy at the moment. And it's still only 5:36 Eastern Standard Time. So I'm going to put some buy limits on this one. I'll put a 34 pip stop at the low of the previous day. And we can see the target show up there cleanly. You know, the way this template's set is the default is on line chart here. So you're seeing the ball. Here's a 25 pip stop to make 100, different price. Let's zoom in one level. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at. Where are they going to stop hunt, these people? Okay, here's 25 pips to make 50. What if they come down there? And then everything in between, right? Whatever you can afford. So there's $50 risk. Here it looks like I'd be a seller on the top of this. Let's go to that's a daily chart there. See, this is another thing. This is the crudest charting in the world. This is high and low only. But you can see this is the bottom. This is support becomes resistance, and you can clearly see the hole that's filling, and this hole's filled. Mission completed on both sides. Sellers are coming in here. I'm going to sell up into this window tonight, and I'm going to buy down into there. So either way, easier to do here. Also, having these sell tickets here available makes it easier to sell. Simple as that. Okay. Dollar CAD, looks like we could buy this again. It looks like it's backing off a little bit. Also, I'm a seller on the CAD as it goes up here. I think anytime we sell high, we're in good shape. $10 per trigger pull on that. This is my trigger pull, so to speak, dropping the. And on the buy side, I will buy deeper here. Now, maybe these would last a week. It depends how often you want, what frequency you want to trade this stuff, because, you know, it really depends. Okay, so I'm going to publish this thing with the cloud there. It's basically this platform. So you have to open the data folder. You'll see templates in an MT4 folder. So you're going to put it in the terminal. They call it the terminal. That is the folder directory that your platform sits in. Your MT4 install is going into according to the way Windows is constructed, it's called the terminal. So the root of that. Just open up or you can just unpack it separately and drag them in if you want. Yeah, if you don't know, you just have to find somebody that knows file structures in Windows. So I don't know if it's anything like Apple. I don't know how Apple runs, but here, you know, I could say it looks like a buy here. I wouldn't commit too much to this. Like here's a 17 pip stop. I'd buy here maybe. You are on the 4-hour chart. And if I buy there, yeah, I want to sell up there. Don't have to touch it at the market. You don't have to make that decision. It's allows you. The problem with trading at the market is it's dependent on you showing up at a certain time, and it may not be the time of the best price. So it may not be the best price. This is a. I just have it. This is up here for looks. This is the infamous, barely moving, daily dollar Swiss. Okay. It looks like the dollar index. It's just a very. Look at the spreads at 10 here, and not a good spread at OANDA, right? Six pips here, the tightest spread still, and very tight in Asia right now. The yen looks like, because, and I'm going to say it because I think, because OANDA is a Japanese broker, I think it is the place to trade the dollar yen in Asia because they're giving you a damn good spread on that. So I'd focus on this currency pair. There's only two pairs to really bother with, and that's the euro dollar and the dollar yen. Now the British pound you can't trade, but you better have trade plans to go from 500 dollar stops to 25. I'm sorry, 500 pip stops, 25 pip stops. And yeah, you can make a ton of money. You could have built a whole hedge before the breakout, a symmetrical hedge before the breakout of whatever kind of bullshit Brexit, or if you're trapped under the floor on the structures, you see it accumulating under the floor, and then it's going to come ripping back and engulf. If you can imagine that scenario and you prepare for that, yeah, you just made like 10 grand. I could have made $20,000 on that CoinEx account had I got into $1.5 million position, which was that was how I made 5 grand on the euro dollar. Is I loaded the wagon down here, $1.5 million of currency, and it just cashed out as it ripped into this, and this was the rooftop, the critical void that we filled, and now we did a faint pullback, and the trend traders are boarding the wagon. So, let's zoom in and take a look at that just before I stop here, because I want to do a thing on these people that are trapped inside the no nonsense Discord. Which every time I read what they're saying, I think, well, I kind of have an idea for that, a fix for that, what they're saying. And that this is the cure for all these problems they're having is don't worry so much about that shit. Jesus Christ, I would have buy limits here and sell limits here, but see, this was the deal. 3-day high there. You punch into that, and holy shit, the people that sell into that, they've kind of scalped out, and I was cashing out into this, and when we popped up here, I'm sure there was a chance to get a little bit long there, and then one last gust. So I can also put in my buy limits here. Let me just put them in. On this one for tonight. Oh, fuck. Everybody just saw my secret drag. I'm going to buy this. I think if they stop onto this. So if I'm asleep and London opens and I think, I'm going to put these balls in here and I'll catch a falling knife here. I can run tighter stops here because this is the euro dollar. 17 pip stop on that. And this is a trend trade. I could also put buy stops above here, but every time I think of something stupid like that, I always say, I'll just put it 3 pips deep. Why not get a better price? And if they don't come down and fill you, that's all right. Trust me, when the market opens in London, I think we're going to go after. I'm just saying there's a possibility we're going to take out this low and this low. So why not just put the order in now and go to sleep? Right? If you're missing out, you could buy at the market a little bit here, but if I buy at the market here, I probably want to cash out there. I'm going to be selling into that. So let me put the sells in there for the obvious sells. This is the new rooftop. I'm going to drag them right over to the rooftop. Okay, there you go. I can't believe this broker can't handle these drops. Look how slow this. It's not the best broker, but this half a pip spread here is pretty good. Look at the shit spread there, 10 pips, and look at this 6 pips Very tight in Asia. Kind of shitty spread here. Here the spread, I don't even get how the spread looks so brutal on this, and it's really just not even like, what the fuck? I guess it's barely moving. That's 25 pip grid on the weekly. You know, look at this thing. Here's why people are saying they want to have volatility and look at this beautiful double, like sell into the cloud. Beautiful trend trade. Here's the kind of here's the top, become a bottom, you drift up. But look at the volatility's just dried up in this thing. It's just dead. Hopefully you're not scalping this thing on the 1 minute chart. That's suicide. Still in a downtrend, according to my algorithm. Pretty vicious. Huh, started out okay up here. Anyways, I'm gonna try to do a Discord commentary video, and then I wanted to get to this guy's question here. I forgot. Let me get to this guy's question here. Please hold. I got kind of stuck up with the nut, tradingnut.com. Oh, he's a nut. He's crazy. I almost killed myself last time I was trading. Yeah, it's tough. Okay, here's the higher time frame guy. Since your strategies are finally making money with trading, well, amazing. I know you trade only from the buy side, but do you check higher time frames? Oh, so he added the weekly euro dollar chart, and when you see the weekly chart, do you still trade the buy side on the daily? Yeah, so the weekly looks like a sell. You're coming up into, you're getting a reversal and stuff. And the 4 hour with the $15 to $2,000 margin. Being kind of like maybe slightly long and slightly short at the same time. How slight are you? How, if you're trading in a hedgeable broker, are you? The question is does that, and so you have a triple period reversal on the 2-period RSI and the sell on the higher time frame. Do you pay attention to higher time frames? Yeah, but for different reasons. Like I said, that rooftop there is important for the scalper's window, and that is to me, that is the trick. Yeah, the triple reversals and stuff, like even triple divergences, I'm still going to take advantage of these kind of little baby black swans when the market's going to spike down. And that's going to make some money there. So yeah, it's a combination. And you can see these, if you have go on a campaign, as Wyckoff says, you really, the Wyckoff system, accumulation and distribution, if you're in the accumulation phase and you're just like, nah, I'm really just focused, I'm not going to scalp, I'm just going to dial into this thing, right? That's different. So here's this guy asking about limit orders. How do you scale in and out with your limit orders? And give me this. Okay, so is there some kind of order you put your limits in according to your take profit stop loss? For instance, do you layer them so that smaller scalp orders get picked up first and bigger orders with larger take profits? Well, I think for the, if it's going to be like this thing where it's a 30-minute limit that's 10 pips deep, and I'm looking for them to just do a little spike and pick that up, and if it's designed to be a scalp, but typically they're kind of like, geez, I guess if I pre-wrote the plan and it's going to be a scalp-based ticket, I know the swing tickets, if I put them in staggered on limits, if I'm going to buy 50 pips apart, say, say I have a double click that's pre-coded to buy 50 pips apart for a 3K, 150 pips deep. I'm probably going to have 150 pips, 100 pips stop on the last ticket, which means I'm risking 250 bucks on the top ticket. Now, whether that thing's going to scalp out, it could scalp out, but that would be a bad ratio, or it would be the swing trade. So if they're commingled, you kind of, and this is why you, even if you just trade in the euro only, you would have scalp tickets on a different account or a different broker that has a tight spread. That's kind of a scalping broker. It's another thing. This guy was talking about brokers. So it's like, what kind of trading are you going to do? If you're going to swing trade it, you could go to some place that only lets you use 20 tickets at a very high leverage. They're not going to let you put in, they used to, but they're not going to let you put in. So there's all these protections because either people are getting crushed or the brokerage firm's getting crushed. I think the depegging of Swiss franc, which is kind of a, it's like Krakatoa as far as loud sounds go, and that really kind of made a lot of people go, well, wait a minute. So we're not going to let you, because you're going to blow up our brokerage firm. If you think that you're having a problem getting filled, think about the brokerage firm that's not big enough to have enough money in escrow to cover their trades, and they go to the liquidity pool and they're getting slippage, right? So if you're at the kind of a broker that's available to you, you're not at the top of the food chain, right? But this doesn't matter if you're swing trading. So if you're going to do the scalp, or you're going to buy at the market with it, and you're in Asia and you can see a tight spread and it's nice and gentle and you can see the obvious trade, as opposed to the news comes out and you have a giant swing grid on some bullshit broker, it doesn't matter that the spread's 10 or 20 pips because you have a 300 pip stop on that trade. So you're using that broker. You can tell by the broker what it's designed for. If the broker's giving you insane, like low commissions on tight spreads, Charles Schwab or whatever just went to zero commissions. So it's a big deal. Trading's not going away, and the no-nonsense guy is really so full of shit. If you go on YouTube at any time, there's never been more Forex traders. And he's like, if you talk to 1 out of 4, they heard my name. God, let's hope not. Let's hope nobody's fallen into the rabbit hole of Holy Grail. He's a Holy Grail builder. This is never going to work, man. If you cannot trade the breakout and trade the swing and trade the trend, right? So you can see where the trend trader's head's at. If you put up the cloud, you're like, oh, well, they see, or you don't have to join that trend. You could also be the guy that says, oh, you know what? I'm just not going to, call me when it's fucking, there's blood in the streets and they're filling my limit order grids that are 100 pips apart, and maybe those are 10Ks because you're just going to risk $100 a ticket. So he's saying they get picked up first. It wouldn't matter if you're in the United States, but if you do cash out of everything, if you go to your platform and do first in, by the time of that fill or the placement of the ticket, you're going to have to take, which I'm not fond of taking a loss, because if you watch Ryan Brown's last video, he's talking about holding a trade that's a loser that becomes a winner. Sure. And this is why, if you're in a basket of tickets, that one ticket that was underwater and you took off the other positions, and I don't know if anybody's ever traded enough tickets to experience the fact that, okay, you're down, but you hold a small position and let it go for 2 days and made back everything you lost on the intermediate and scalps. Right? So, these things are all, and I'm going to do a thing on the people talking in this Discord, because there are people talking sense in there, but you can see what they're saying and what they're revealing about. One guy's talking about exiting the market, the money management psychology, exiting the market. Yeah, but I would apply that to entering the market too. So, to me, the psychology is wrapped up right there in dropping a limit that says I'm going to buy 45 pips deep. I precision dropped it at a vacuum level that goes back on the monthly charts. Now, I may not get filled on this euro pound, but I'm fucking trading the markets. Okay, I'm putting orders in the market. I'm actually okay with losing $10 per ticket. So psychologically, I'm free from losing. I don't feel that pressure. the pressure comes in when going, oh God, I'm getting a signal here and I'm waiting for confirmation. I have 1% of ATR past my, I got a candle rule. I got a this, I got a double count. Kind of like, I don't know if I trust my, yeah, because you're trading so big on that one stupid fucking market order that how can you experience the beauty of the market makers, of ramming you want them to manipulate the market. The big bank is your fucking friend. He's going to make you money. You can't move the market. Yeah, you're not in control. You're not in control. Your algo's not saving you. Well, I mean, it's saving you, keeping you from trading, I suppose. So, or is it the opposite? Okay, so are you gonna cash out at the the bigger and bigger orders with larger and larger take profits, and stops get picked up last. It really depends how you design this array, honestly. Okay, or is it general platter of orders with different stops and take profits wherever the exponential increase comes from buying larger order size as the price moves deeper? Well, if you keep the order size actually one case, it'll just naturally be getting filled on a denser, which is in the end a larger position. But if ultimately, and if I could get my computer running again, I'm going to show you that you can back test these giant schemes of buy limits, sell limits. They make a considerable amount of money if they're able to stack up in the platform for a week, because you have literally, well, I would say a perfect contour of a real noisy market, which you probably couldn't have done if you just dropped them all those tickets at the beginning of the week. Besides, the market's pushing up and down, and these limits are stacking up and lingering for a week. So you're getting quite the insanity in it. The tests I've done, it's like if it fits the true range of the monthly, it makes a considerable amount of money. But you would be hedging in that. You'd have to trade one. You'd have to take off all the tickets in the United States and then open 2 accounts. Or you just go, you know what? The market's going to plunge. Let me just put buy limits. Right? It looks like the market's going to rally. Throw sell limits like I just did here in the pound. I think the pound's going up more. I think we're coming into the scalper's window at the top of that. I think we could reverse. And I'm using this OANDA account to prove that, yes, you could trade this and make, you're going to make like maybe $300 a week trading, this $5,000 account. But it's not like, I mean, you could trade it harder, right? It's just more work. But you're making it so it's work. $10 risk per drop. I just don't see the point in saying, oh, this is such a good setup. I think only because I've done that, and I'm like, well, that setup sucked. Because if I have a stop in there, why not get back in and go, my stop was too tight, let me get back in, and then it would dawn on you at some point, ooh, maybe I'll buy smaller and just kind of leg into it as it sells off. Why am I buying 618? Why am I buying a Gartley pattern? It's complete retardation and laziness. You're straight out fucking lazy. The guy that does the extra detail work and the extra rivets, yeah, his plane's together. How about the building? Did you see the building down at, where is it? They were building some fucking Hard Rock Cafe. I think these guys were stoned. They're bringing a Hard Rock Cafe, and the structure fell apart when they were halfway. Somebody's maybe a little rocking a little too hard while they build. Or the engineer's sitting there with a giant crack pipe and some hash going. I think if we could save some money if we just thin out these beams here. Look, I did a simulation on the CAD and it's holding together. Yeah, it's all great and wonderful till there's a slight little bit of a sinkhole in the. You build on it. You know what? It's not that terra firm as we thought. And then like dominoes. Bye-bye. I'd love to hear the story about that, but there's too much political stuff to really feast upon these days. Okay, so it comes from buying larger sizes as the price moves deeper. Yeah, that is the martingale idea. The void or new highs and lows. Yeah, that void, that slot that goes back, or is it none of those in a structure of orders? I want to have merely an illusion, my ego trying to create in order to control what I cannot. Yeah, I mean, the only thing we control here is like how many tickets we put in, and if the dominoes are going to fall our way. If they don't, then the only effort is that you dragged and dropped a ticket that never filled. And then you say, well, you know what? Now, if you really are anxious, I'm going to try to do pure limits. Of course, I am going to do pure limits. There are no market orders in this OANDA account, so this will be an experimentation in just trading pure limits. I'm pretty much not going to put a buy stop here. I might bracket. I would probably write. I know. I'd have to write a kind of a bad ratio, risk 25 to make 15, and I might put those in for a scalp on a stop entry. And I could put in, but I'd rather actually have it. You can't really do it. Okay, it's the United States. So if you think it's going to break out, trail your buy stops or trail your sell stops. If you think that you know the direction it's going to break out, you have a 50% chance of getting that right. I think you don't have to bet on it going sideways. That if you're an option trader, you would. Like if you put on this, you write a put, you write a call, you wait for them both to decay worthless. Okay, if you put a symmetrical, I don't know, a straddle. Okay, if you straddle with options and you're writing those, okay, what's going to crush you is if the market gets volatile. But if the market just goes sideways, you are betting on it's going to go sideways, and you're going to do that. I don't think the options. I'm not sure the options that forex options. That was kind of a cruel thing to try to do was forex options. Anyways, let me post this thing. So here it is. OANDA, $10 drops.